so we're going to be starting a new unit on the Revolutionary War. Before we get into that though, I do want to do our pre-assessment game, and then I am going to have a slight quiz. Don't worry though, I'm only using it to collect data before the lesson begins. So anyway, how this is going to work, this is a game. So if you think something is true that I say, you'll stay standing up. If you think that it's false, you'll sit down. I want each of you to keep track of your individual record. So everyone that you get right, I want you to keep track of that, okay? So that at the end I can know exactly, we'll go down the line and it'll be a little competition, okay? All right, so here we go. Do me a favor, I need everybody standing up silently at their desk. All right, so here's an example question. Mr. Eden's birthday is in January. If you think it's true, stay standing. If you think it's false, sit down. Okay. It is in January, so everybody who's standing would get that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, awesome. So, now we're going to jump into some content. So, there were some colonists that dumped tea into the Boston Harbor as a form of protest against Britain.
No.
True or false? There were some colonists that dumped tea off of a boat. They threw tea off of a boat as a form of protest against Britain. Do you think that's true or false?
No.
So anybody that's standing, that is true. So you get a point. So remember that. Keep that in mind, okay? Yes. You said
That's
what?
what.
No. The first one doesn't count. First one
That's
doesn't
what
count.
you teach this.
All right. Hey. Do me a favor. Yes. Not that. Anyway, hey. So British soldiers killed unarmed colonists in what is now known as the Boston Massacre. True or false? That is true. Good. So are you? Hey, do me a favor. Hold your points up so I know who's got what. So yeah, everybody should have two. No. You got one. Jayla, you got one. Kevin, you got one.
I got two. It's your birthday.
No, my fault. Birthday question didn't count. All right. Britain imposed a series of tax acts on the colonists in an effort to pay off war debt and sustain their global empire. True or false? I got you. Yeah. So Britain enforced heavy taxes on the colonists to pay off their war debt and sustain their global empire. True or false? So they taxed the colonists a lot to get money to pay off their debt. True or false? You sitting? It was true. So remember, keep your numbers up so I can see.
I said I'm standing. What did I said standing.
No, you said sitting down.
I said I shook my head. I said.
The Revolutionary War was a war fought between the American colonies and the French. True or false? The American Revolution was a war fought between the American colonies and the French. True or false?
That's hard. Half and half.
Half and half. There is no half and half. That is true. That is false. Excuse me.
Hey.
It was fought. However, the French did. They were involved in the war toward the end. They were on our side though. All right. Okay. There was a tax act that made American colonists give housing and living accommodations to British soldiers. True or false? So basically, the king passed an act. It was an act that was passed that made people that live here house the soldiers from Britain. True or false? Good job. True. That is true. Who's in the lead so far? Has anybody not missed one? Good deal. Good deal. Now this one's pretty crazy. The colonies had a greater population than Britain. So there were more people living over here than in Britain. What do you think? True or false? That is false. Britain had about 8 million people at the time. Over here, the colonies had 1.5 million. All right, let me see a couple more. Or last one, excuse me. There was a tax act. So there was an act that was passed that taxed the colonists on every piece of printed paper, or every piece of paper. True or false? So every little piece of paper was taxed. Do you think that's true or false? What do you think? Sounds like it's pretty outrageous. Think about every time you had a piece of paper, they were getting paid. What do you think?
It's America though, so.
It wasn't. It was Britain that was taxed.
You should listen to this question.
Wait, say it again.
So there was here I got you. There was a tax act that made the American colonists pay for every piece of printed paper. or paper in general, excuse me. What do we think? That is true. It's called
Yes,
stand back.
sir.
All right, so do me a favor. Tell me. I'm gonna go around. Just tell me your score. All right. What was it? 4.
6. 6.
That's pretty dang good. You
You're
guys did a good
lying.
job.
You're
All right.
lying.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
Lying.
You can grab a seat. I do have one other minor assessment now. Do not worry, this is not for a grade. This is not anything that you will have to worry about. This is just for me to kind of know where we are before we start our unit, okay? So let me go ahead and pass
So the
this
question
out.
you gave me, can you tell me which one was right?
Nope.
No. Oh, no, yeah, you talking about on this? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll let you know. Here we go. I'll get you. Yep, you are free to start as soon as you get that. Hey, do me a favor though. Hey, excuse me, ladies. I do ask that there's no talking during this time though. We will talk about these answers shortly after. If you need a pen, please let me know by raising your hand silently, and I will get that for you right now. Or a pencil. Okay, let me grab one right now. Fantastic. Who needs a pencil? Please raise your hand. Let me know. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Did I give you a quiz? Here we go. Here we go. Do me a favor. Please close the laptop. Thank you so much. All right. Remember to put your name and date on it, please. There are 5 questions. They are multiple choice. There is absolutely no pressure. We have not covered this material. So, as soon as you're done, just turn your paper over and I will come and collect it. 30. No, 29. On the, I'll tell you after. I'll tell you after.
Oh, never mind, I know which one.
Very good job on the review game. Make sure we're not talking, silently finishing this up, and I'll come around and collect it as soon as I see your paper flip over. Matter of fact, actually, just flip your paper over for me. I'll collect it at the end. I will go over the answers though with us all together. And this will kind of be a lead into our lesson that we're going to talk about pretty much everything that we're going to do. All right, a couple more minutes now. A couple more seconds, I should say. All right, you can go ahead and flip your papers back over. So we're just going to go 1 through 5 here. Which of the following led to the American Revolution?